Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of Talking Halos. I'm your host today, Jared Timms, and I'm joined alongside Nate Green. Nate, you know the routine when we got a guest on. I'm going to forget about you for a half second. Guys, you might recognize the face, but this is Angels outfielder Jo Adell. Joe, how's it going, man? Excited to have you on.
Oh, hey, what's going on, guys? I'm glad to be here. I'm doing well.
Good. Before I get to asking you questions, Nate, I'm not going to forget about you. How you doing? You excited for this one, man?
Yeah, of course. Doing well. Excited for this one. This is a big one. So
awesome. So back on to Joe. Joe, how's the Oblique? I heard it had a little bit into the season there. How's the Oblique doing, man?
Oh, thanks for asking. It's doing well. I haven't had any issues. Rehab went really, really well in Arizona. By the time I came back, I was full scale, ready to go. Not even any soreness, really. Yeah, so it's been fine. Definitely, as I've started lifting and working out, it's been a priority. I don't want that lingering in 24 as we move forward. So I definitely have made sure that I've gotten the correctives in, and I'm doing the things that I need to be doing so that doesn't come back and become an issue. Just kind of a freak injury. I mean, I think part of it happened on the play with Muncy. So when I robbed that homer against Muncy in Dodger Stadium, I came up to bat the next inning, I believe, and I might have kind of had some sort of pull already. Wasn't 100% sure. That's what we think. We think that there might have been some slight pull going on there just from the play and it being so just kind of a weird angle that I took to make it. But yeah, during the at bat, I felt it and was very bummed. Obviously, I'm a guy, I want to be out there. But yeah, made it back and I haven't had any issues. So
yeah, we were bummed here on the show as well. We were finally saying like Joe's going to get his chance. Like he's going to get finally going to get some consistent at bats.
Like 30 days fully of a real baseball schedule, and not this week on, week off.
We were so excited for it, but we're excited to see you back in spring in 2024, and then hopefully making the roster out of spring as well. But besides that, I want to throw off some rapid fire questions for you. Get your roll in here. So who's your favorite player growing up?
So my favorite baseball player growing up was Joey Votto. For those of you who don't know, I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky. So Joey and the Reds, they were right up the street from me. I remember growing up and going to games with my little league team and hanging out and seeing that guy just kind of do what he does. Just all around baseballer. You know what I mean? I think I was more in tune with the fact that this guy was just he was such the game. He soaked the game up. He was in every moment. He was in every pitch. That was really cool for me. Obviously, I was really young when I first saw him play and got to kind of see a different level of baseball there from him. Actually, it's funny. 2 spring trainings ago, we were playing in Goodyear, and I told him when I walked or something, or I hit a single or something in spring, and I told him he was on first base. I was like, just want to let you know, not that you care, but you're my favorite player growing up. And me and him got to chit-chatting about it. So it's kind of funny how it comes full circle now that, I play in the league and I have a favorite player who's playing or was playing and pretty cool experience. So
that's actually awesome. Getting to meet your favorite player growing up at first base, playing against him. So that's awesome. Best baseball movie.
Ooh, best baseball movie. Ooh, I gotta go Major League. Major League makes you crack up, man. It's a classic. I know there's some Sandlot people out there, but for me, it's definitely Major League. Just the original.
Nothing wrong with Major League. Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
I don't think there's a wrong answer there. So, favorite Gatorade color or flavor if you're a Gatorade guy?
Ooh, I don't drink a lot of Gatorade, but if I had to choose a flavor, I would probably go between grape or lemon lime. Something about lemon lime. I know that's kind of a mixed bag for a lot of people, but lemon lime kind of has a twist to it. Probably one of those two. Maybe mix. I don't know. Try that out.
There we go. I like it. Toughest pitcher you've faced so far?
Ooh, it's crazy. When I get asked the question about toughest pitchers, I kind of go by year because it's kind of tough for me to remember. As the years go on, I face a lot of guys. Honestly, I remember one from a couple of years ago. I think Clayton Kershaw made it through 7 innings against us at a home game a couple of years ago. He had the slider going real tight on the righties. Man, he was lights out that night. I know in particular, and I faced him times after, but that particular time, man, he had it going. And I know, I think our report on him was, if he's burying the sliders in on the righties, it's going to be a long day, because obviously, you're looking for the big curveball to pop. But man, he was throwing, his velo was up a little bit, and he had the slider come in on the inside part of the plate. He was tough that night. But one that stands out from this year, believe it or not, is the Mason Miller kid from Oakland. My goodness.
Dude.
I mean, I don't know if anybody's been talking about this guy, or maybe I've just been out of the loop. But I got to tell you, I faced him in AAA when he was on a rehab assignment. I think he had 1 rehab assignment in AA. It was the quietest 4 or 5 innings ever in a AAA game I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I was raking at the time. I think I'd just come from Albuquerque. I had like 7 jacks in 6 days. This guy was throwing fastballs right by you. I mean, when we'd foul one off, we'd feel good about it. I mean, just elite level fastball. And I think that was the biggest thing that stood out to me, because I faced nasty off-speed pitches, but when a guy can come out, man, and he's just throwing gas and he's getting it by you, it's really special. So, hopefully he can continue to stay healthy, because he's going to be a kid to battle against for sure.
Yeah, I think I actually watched that game because you were on fire at that time, like you said, and I was like, "What's Joe going to do against Mason Miller?" And yeah, he was unbelievable that night for sure, and nothing wrong with Clayton Kershaw either. So, let's see here. As you are an outfielder, what is the best baseball catch of all time?
Oof. Me personally, like the best one.
Yeah, let's see here. What's your best catch, do you think?
Oof. Man, it's honestly, it's pretty close. I think it's between, I caught a ball down the left field line in Tampa last year that I thought was a pretty good one. It was a foul ball, but in Tampa, if you go down the left field line, you run out of space. Yep. So like, as you go down that line, it kind of gets really open around the bullpen area, but then it closes off really narrow once you get down towards the foul line. Yep. And I dove and made a play in foul territory. And I think my glove was like maybe an inch or so from the wall. I mean, it was like a full out. I was playing an oppo shift, so I was towards center field, and I ran all the way over and made a play in foul territory. I thought that was pretty good, just because it was a foul ball, right? Like, I saved a pitch. The game situation, when you're playing Tampa, they're a team that's always contending, that's always in the mix. So those moments kind of fire you up. I would also say probably the Muncy catch, just because I haven't played a whole lot of center, but it was an opportunity for me to go out and show that I can manage the middle of the field. And, that play, all these plays end up mattering. It took a home run away. So anytime you can do that, I give that extra points.
No, nothing wrong with either one of those. I mean, robbing a home run's pretty freaking special. So, last one here for you before we get on to a couple other things. Do you have a pregame meal that you like to eat?
There is. Pregame for me that's been a go-to, honestly, here recently within the last year or so, that I've really enjoyed has been peanut butter and banana with some honey on top. And I just,
nice.
And I'm good to go. It's enough to keep me full for 4 or 5 innings. And then, I don't have to worry about running into the bathroom mid-game. You know what I mean? That's that ain't what you want.
No, absolutely not. So appreciate you answering those questions. Sorry, I know I kind of threw you on the spot there a little bit, but get on to some actual topics and questions here. You got the Jo Adell Foundation. Talk to us about that, where anybody can find the Jo Adell Foundation, how they can help out, contribute, anything like that, man.
Absolutely. So what I did with my foundation is I started it right after I got drafted. So in 2017, that fall, I launched it. From a real just basic standpoint, I wanted something open-ending. So I wanted to be able to take ideas from everybody in the community, community leaders, teachers, principals, schools, and kind of develop a way to do small projects. I didn't want to do projects that were so big that I couldn't manage them. I think that's a thing. A lot of times in foundations, you see projects that are so large scale that maybe at times, you can be in and over your head. For me, I wanted to do 2 or 3 projects a year max. And these projects range from, we had Cuts for Kids, which was, we raised money and were able to fund a barbershop in the middle school that my mom was teaching at the time. And then the hope was to expand it. We're still working on that, but not everybody can afford a haircut. You know, it sounds, you know, we get a haircut maybe once every couple of weeks, but when it comes down to it, you know, kids in the inner city, you know, are showing up, and appearance is brutal. You know, appearance is important. It's something that for me, you know, when I get a haircut, I remember growing up, being a kid in middle school and, you know, looking forward to, you know, once a week getting a haircut and having that, you know, going into school the next day feeling fresh, you know, and new. And so that was something that was a cool collaboration. We were able to come up and get the ball rolling there. Another thing we've done is the turkey drive. We did that religiously for 3 years. I think COVID made it difficult for us to get out and do it 2020 during that fall, but we're looking to get that back going because that was a big deal in the community. It's just going, and we partnered with the police department. So we were able to get turkeys delivered to families from, you know, my foundation and LMPD, Louisville Metro. And that was big because trying to bridge that gap, I think is huge. I think that's a big thing. A lot of times I think the families in that area turn the other way when it comes to police. So getting them involved, I think, was big. And yeah, you know, I've had some stuff go on as far as delivering groceries. We've had groceries set up where we've had families being able to call in and get kind of like a DoorDash, but for groceries in a sense for families in need. So really just as the money comes in, as we've collected donations, we've found a way to do small things, small projects. And when we can highlight them, we highlight them, and serving the community of Louisville basically in any way that we can. That makes sense. And so as we've done that, the goal is to eventually move out of the city and kind of expand elsewhere. But for right now, we focus on, you know, these families and their needs on a day-to-day basis.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really awesome. Before we move on, tell everybody where they can find the Jo Adell Foundation if they want to contribute or anything like that. I'm also going to drop the link below on YouTube and on Megaphone as well for those listening. So tell everybody.
Absolutely. It's joadellfoundation.org.
Perfect.
So
Sweet.
my name, foundation.org. So yeah, get on there and check it out and see what we've done. You know, what we're going to continue to do. So
awesome, man. I love hearing it. I absolutely love hearing it. And again, if anybody here wants to go and contribute, go check it out, joadellfoundation.com. With that being said, let's get on to a little baseball talk here. I didn't include this into anything we talked about beforehand. You hit a 514-foot home run. You know how far that is, man?
I mean, I think some would say the altitude maybe had something to do with that, but I don't believe that personally. I don't believe that. I did.
It went that far, so who cares?
Everybody had his 514 feet. Okay, talk to us about that. What you don't think it was that far? Do you think it was the farthest ball you ever hit?
I think it was. To exactly how far it actually was, I'm not 100% sure. Again, I think the reason why I believe that it was over 500 feet is because of the pitch type. So a lot of times the breaking balls are the ones that go farther. A lot of people don't know that, but the breaking balls actually go farther. So I was in a 3-1 count, either a 3-0 or a 3-1 count. I was being really aggressive in the count. Had seen 3 pitches, and yeah, it was actually a decent breaking ball to hit. I mean, it was a middle pitch. It was a 12-6 curveball, and yeah, I put an absolute ace swing on it. I didn't hit it. I hit it flush, and yeah, it went for a ride. To be totally honest with you, I was really surprised at just how far it took. Like, I knew I hit it really, really well, but then when I saw people running into the neighborhood back behind and left center, I was like, man, like this was hit really, really well, you know, because obviously you hit BP, you have a gauge of your own home ballpark. So, you know, when you hit one good, where it normally ends up. Not that, you're making it home run derby every day during batting practice, but you have an idea of where you're hitting pitches and where the ones you hit well, where they end up. And that one was smoked, man. It really was. It's funny because I joke around that guy came back the next day, or I think it was 2 days later. That pitcher came back the next day, 2 days later. Man, wipeout stuff. He wouldn't have me touch anything. It was so funny. I got in there, I'm like, this looks like a different guy. I think you put a little bit of something behind it this time, the next time through, for sure.
So I've been trying to figure out where it landed. So we can confirm now it landed outside the stadium. I've been there before. That is an absolute poke. If it was 514 feet or not, that's still ridiculous how far you hit that ball. I had to bring it up. So that it was unbelievable. And I'm glad you hit that ball, because that was awesome. That was an absolute tank. So Nate, I'll pass it over to you. I know you got a couple questions for him.
Well, yeah, let's just start with we saw some videos last year of your off season, but like, what does your typical off season look like? I know you're probably already started on that grind. So
absolutely. So right now what I have going on is I kind of get antsy, like we were talking about earlier. So I start my lifts about a week or so after the off season, or after the season ends most of the time. And what I do is I kind of just do my own version of like my own conditioning, stretching, like ab workouts. I do like an ab series and kind of just take it really, really light for 2 or so weeks. And then I'll actually get into training with my trainer. So I actually lift with the Angels strength coordinator now, Dylan. Man, me and him have been together now working out in the off season for 3 years now. I think I had an injury in 2019 that hindered me, and he got me back, I think like 2 months ahead of schedule. I ended up coming back, and me and him really hit it off well. So I reached out and was like, hey, if you want to work me out during the off season, man, like I'm going to be living in Arizona. Like we can do this thing full scale. Let's do it. And we've been working out ever since. So I'll work out about 3 or 4 days a week now. And man, we get after it, man. It's definitely, for me, I like being challenged in the weight room. That's like a big thing for me. I know everybody's different when it comes to working out and getting lifts in. But I like to run it. I mean, I guess you can call it football style. I like to really get in and push it, man, and almost, see how far I can go. And he's been really supportive with me about that. And that's really that's where I hang my hat. I show up every year in spring training, and my goal is to be top tier level of conditioning that I can be in. And that's how you play longer. That's how I'm able to do what I do in the box. And, that's what I believe in. So I'll do that. Another thing that I've included is once a week, I'll get a stretch once a week. So I'll have an hour-long stretch. So I'll have somebody come over and stretch and do mobility stuff. And then I'll have a massage once a week. So I'll have a sports massage once a week as well. And I just do that even if I'm not sore that week. It's just something that I do for recovery. And when the swings start, my body will be prepared to do what I need it to do.
You make it sound really easy, by the way, to hit 514-foot home runs. You get a massage weekly, you stretch a couple times, and you get a couple big lifts in. So I'm going to start hitting tanks here pretty soon then too.
There it is. It could be the formula. That could be it.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. I got a question here for you. Another fun one. Brandon Marsh, man, you guys basically grew up together. We're watching him on the big level, on that big media level, in World Series, hitting big home runs, hitting big doubles, man. What's it like to see Brandon do that?
Man, I'll tell you what, man, just what a brother for me. That's a day one guy for me. And, obviously we came up through the system together, and, when he left, that was kind of a weird day. We were like looking at each other like we've been playing together for so long. We just don't know what it's like to not play with each other. But man, what he's been able to do, jumping in that environment. And I think the thing for me, what I'm so happy about for Brandon is the fact that, he gets an experience where the fans, the team, the people are around him and who he is and what he's about. That's the coolest thing. You can really see it. You see the fans in the stands wearing the beard. They have like the beard and the hair. I think it's in the team shop now at this point. I mean, I don't know, you know what I mean? But they definitely have beard envy in the stands, and you can just see how Philly just surrounds this guy and embraces him. I think that was the coolest thing. And I went to the NLCS. I think it was game 4. It was one of the games they were playing here in Arizona. But I took a trip down, kind of just like a fly on the wall, sat, my seats were okay. But I just wanted to sit and embrace it. I was actually sitting in the Phillies section. I just kind of wanted to see what it was like, and when he got up to bat, when he did something, when he had a single, man, the fans, the way they surrounded him, it was something that was really cool for me to see, just because that's how I cheer for him. And to have him being in a moment like that for 2 years, where he's been a part of playoff activity and been in the mix, man, it's really cool. And how much better he's gotten as a player from being in that environment too is pretty incredible. So hat tip to him for jumping in a new uniform, something that was, we thought obviously that, man, we're never going to split, but at some point, the business of baseball is what it is. And he had to go and go his separate route, and to see him just embrace it and have all the success in the world, man, just hat tip to him. And man, they got a great player and an even better dude. So I'm happy for him. And Aaron Marsh, congratulations. Pan American Team USA bringing the medal. Wow. How about that family? You talk about athletes.
She is incredible. They both are, but incredible. Aaron's unbelievable. Could you beat her in a race, by the way?
Oof. You know what? I don't know. I tell you what, I would say if she wanted to talk about running, I would pull my notepad out and take notes. So I'll tell you that. That's a fact.
Yeah, that's an unbelievable thing.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So
it's crazy.
Congrats to her, because them taking that back, she's a world champion now. It's awesome. So
yeah. So Nate, I'll let you answer one more, and we'll let Joe get out. Man, what do you got?
You got to have your Kirk Cousins moment where you were off to the side and no one really had to bother you. That was cool. But so just want to know, like, who's been the most influential player or coach on the team so far, just through your young career? We know Marsh is up there, but is there someone else that's kind of been that person for you?
Man, to be totally honest with you, I think the most influential people in my life have been my family, my mom and dad. Obviously, at the end of the day, we got to go back to our roots. We spend all the time in the clubhouse and with players, and guys are doing their own thing, but we have family. And without my family and my mom's been in education for over 20 years. She's about to get her doctorate coming up next summer. So congrats to her on that. Man, just the perseverance, of my mom and dad. It's something where when the days get tough for me and I look around and I'm trying to figure out how to get through it and how to figure out what's next, and how to be the best version of myself and how to put the best foot forward, man, I look to my parents, my mom, my dad. My dad played college and professional football for a little bit before a lower back injury. But man, I tell you what, it's to have that type of unit to call in when things aren't right or when they're great, and to celebrate and to be happy. That's what's gotten me to this point now. In the tough life and the tough world that we live in, it's been my family.
That's great. That's great to hear, man. I really do appreciate that one. Just again, want to thank you so much, Joe, for jumping on, talking with us, talking a little bit of baseball this offseason. Great to hear that, the Oblique's healing up good. We're excited to see you back in spring in Angels uniform, competing for an outfield job out there with Mike Trout. And I'm sure that's an absolute blast to hang out with that guy on a daily basis. So, but again, thank you for jumping on, guys. Again, don't forget to go check out the Jo Adell Foundation. You can follow myself on X, Jared_Tim's, Nate at Nate Green 34. Joe, nobody needs to follow you. I mean, you probably have 1,000 million followers, but I'm
taking as many as I can get. So
do it.
You keep doing your thing.
Throw your X handle or Twitter handle out there so everybody knows where to follow you too.
Twitter handle is Jo Adell 7. My first and last name, that's J-O with no E, A-D-E-L-L 7. Instagram is Adell 7. So just the last name with a 7. So let's keep it simple.
Do it. Go follow Joe. And again, Joe, thanks so much for jumping on. Guys, again, thank you so much for listening. Have a great rest of your day.